Good evening and welcome to a rainy Benedictine where BC is taking on Jenkins here this afternoon in a JV contest here at BC. And again, a steady rain falling here this afternoon. So good football weather. I know Christian always likes to play in the rain, so he's here with me as well. So good to be here with you this afternoon. And we are just about ready to go here for the kickoff this afternoon as Jenkins won the toss and they deferred to the second half. So BC going to get this one first, and they will go left to right. Again, we are field side here at BC. And again, a lot of exciting things to come here at this facility down the road. And not sure what the holdup is here this particular moment here, but we're just about ready to go. Again, a steady rain pretty much all of the last hour or so. And now we have a tee flying around, all the wonderful things that happen at JV football. But I think Jenkins literally just got off the bus and walked straight out here, so they maybe forgot the tee for a second.
Yes, and this is, listen, we're going to do our best to get you the shots that we can get you. It is an unfinished stadium over here. It's going to look great when it's done. But, again, just bear with us as we go through this broadcast of this JV football game. We'll have some special guests as we go.
And there's a line drive kick going to come down at the 20 and across the 30 and down to the 36, 37-yard line. And BC will take over there 1st and 10. Again, just 10-minute quarters here for the junior varsity cadets. And Omari Burse, who is the backup on Friday nights, going to get to start here on the JV level. And again, Christian, this is where, you know, if you're an athlete, you say, look, I want to play obviously on Friday nights, but this is where I get better and get my reps in so I can play at the next level.
100%. And just talking to Coach Britt earlier, this is the guys that you're going to see next year starting on varsity. There's a lot of guys right now who play on varsity, but they are just ones and twos right now.
And they'll give it off here around the near side. I believe that's Mallard, and we've seen him run some on Friday nights. And again, we're here at BC and Jenkins. Again, we were thinking earlier in the year we were going to go to Ohio this week, and that's why BC just had the extra off week. And so just kind of make up for that. We tried to be here. We were hoping for better weather, but we kind of got what we got here so far. It'll be second down here for the cadets. They'll go straight ahead. Again, maybe a couple across the 40 to the 42. And it'll be third down, call it 3. Actually going to mark him up to the 44. And again, we're at about the best angle we can give you here in the rain. And here's Burst. He's going to keep it himself. He'll run it here to the near side, and across the 45 will have the first down. And BC will move the chain. So a third down pickup. And as the team moves, we'll probably get a better camera angle here. The Christian Cadets in a weird situation where you have basically 3 full weeks between Friday night football games by the time they play Westminster next week.
That's correct. Yeah, and just one of those situations, Kevin, where you can't foresee it when it happens, but something that the teams in South Georgia aren't too unfamiliar with, unfortunately, just dealing with the storms that we deal with on a regular basis.
As it gives straight ahead, going to lose a couple of yards. As again, bear with us. We're
trying to get a better angle.
Working in the rain and trying to get as good an angle as we can here off the field level. So here's Burst with the snap. He'll fling it out here into flat, way too tall, was looking near side. And that's Karan Hall, who we've seen play some on Friday nights, and a good-looking youngster who's got the 6'3", 6'4", and
right.
Got the frame, obviously, Christian, where you look at him and say, you know, a couple years, if he adds 15, 20 pounds next couple years, that's going to be a big time wide receiver right there. And they obviously see the upside there.
He's one of those guys, Kevin, where Danny and I talked a little bit, and it's an interesting situation where you're playing on a bye week. Typically, these guys, or not typically, always in a week, you have 6 quarters to play, and you can determine how to use those with your coach, or 3 halves, however you want to look at it. So typically, a lot of these guys will play the first half of JV games and not play the second half, so they have a full 4 quarters of availability that they can use. But with it being a bye week, no limitations on that, so we can see a lot of some guys that we see play some spot roles on Friday nights. A lot of special teams guys getting some full run here with the offense and defense.
Absolutely. And again, if folks say, well, what's the GHSA, and it's the same for every sport you play, a whole quarter counts as if you walked out on the field and played for one play, you played the whole quarter. So don't want to risk it. Here's BC going to go in an I formation here. As Burst goes under center, they'll run the toss sweep. This is Mallard off the left side. Boy, they sealed the edge nicely that time, and he's going to have the first down up the left sideline. He's shoved out of bounds. And again, that's what we've seen glimpses of on Friday nights the last couple of weeks, and you can see why Coach Britt is excited about that young man at running back in the future.
Running back, defensive back, had that long interception return against Burke County a couple Friday nights ago, Kevin. I think the longest in BC history. They're taking it from 103 yards.
I was saying, I meant to ask Coach Britt how they calculate that, because it used to be old school. It was like if you were in the back of the end zone, front of the end zone, it didn't matter, 100 yards.
Right.
That was your return. Now everybody's kind of gotten to the eyeball guessing game. Oh, it's 103. Here's the snap. This is going to be coming back here to the near side and getting the corner turned and out of bounds. And looks like BC is going to have it first and goal. If I can see here, did he get in? Oh, he got in. He scored a touchdown. Can't see in that far corner. So the reaction from the sideline here was kind of like, oh.
Kind of muted.
So I was like, okay, you didn't quite get there.
Wasn't expected.
So now the point after. And BC off to a 6-0 start, drive right down the field. And no, they botched the snap, and they're just going to eat it. So 6-0, 7:18 to go here in the first. We'll come right back here to a rainy Benedictine here on WatchBCSports.com.
Ace Hardware is celebrating 100 years of helpful, and Island's Ace Hardware is Savannah's own. 318 Johnny Mercer Boulevard in Wilmington Island. They're our hometown, locally owned Ace Hardware. From A to Z, they've got it all to help you get things done. Island's Ace Hardware is a proud BC sponsor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace Hardware is celebrating. Looking for authentic, traditional Southern cuisine for your next special event, reunion, wedding, or celebration in Savannah? For over 45 years, Barnes Restaurant is the most experienced, trusted caterer in all of Savannah. Rooms 50 to 5,000. No event too big or small. Barnes does it all. Online at barnesrestaurant.com.
Welcome back here to BC on a rainy Thursday, as we've got some JV coverage for you here as the Cadets go right down the field and score a touchdown in a little less than 3 minutes. And they lead at 6-0. So they will kick it off to Jenkins here for the first time. And again, a beautiful facility here at Benedictine. Here's the kick. Going to get around the corner. There's Ron Mallard, who just scored the touchdown, driving a man out of bounds. And again, a beautiful facility here, Christian. And you talked with folks at BC, as have I, about the vision for this place, and truly a chance to be something special once it all comes to fruition. And I know that's the number one question that AD Jack Holland gets asked about. I'm sure Danny Britt gets asked about it a lot. And the answer I get is, look, when we do it, we want to make sure we do it right. And if you're going to have a premier facility, you got to make sure you do it right. And there's so many things that they got to come up with. They don't have a field house. They don't have an opposing locker room.
Right.
Home stands, press box. Way to accommodate all those people as well. Here's the play. It's going to be a little give straight ahead. BC there to eat that up on second effort, maybe a couple of yards. But so much to be done here at the stadium. You can play JV, soccer, lacrosse, play out here. But In terms of getting the Friday night action here under the lights at BC, they just have a lot of things where you just, I don't want to say it's mandated, but you just need to have in order to host a big time setting.
We've seen some facilities around the state where they just get it done to get it done so they can play football games in it, and you end up kind of shooting yourself in the foot. And so the strategy here is do everything the best you can. And you put the field down, you put the away stands down, because like you said, then you're able to use it for basically every other sport, because all the concessions are, if you're watching kind of to the back right there for the baseball. And so you had that kind of in place there. Get some food, get some drinks, there's bathrooms, and then again, stands on the away side right now. But for football, it's a lot more stringent. You have to have locker rooms for both the home team and the away team and officials. You have to have more restrooms. You have to have stands that can seat X amount of people if you want to host a playoff game. Press box is kind of the same way. So and then,
parking for everybody.
Right. And then even beyond that, it's Benedictine, and they want to do it right. And so everything is going to be done to the best of their abilities, and that means taking their time to do it.
3rd down and 4, fumble the football. And are they going to get the edge? BC trying to get there early and shoving him out of bounds. I think they're going to hold him up short, but Jenkins, again, you trickle down the offensive scheme from varsity to JV is going to be 4th down and about 2. And Tony Welch runs that flex bone, that wing tee, kind of what BC at the varsity level saw not too long ago.
And it
from Burke County, who ran it beautifully.
Yeah, and the good thing it does is it kind of evens the playing field. It doesn't matter how big your guys are, how fast your guys are. If you bring everybody inside the hashes and just play man-to-man football and run the football straight at somebody, it kind of levels the playing field. So I've always loved it. I'm a big fan of it at every level. But Tony Welch coaches it at a very high degree.
And here's the give, straight ahead, quarterback keeper. That's going to be a 1st down out near midfield. And again, that's just, if you're going to be a team that runs the football, Christian, kind of the old Paul Johnson thing is say, look, if it's 4th down and I can't get a yard and a half, my offense is not doing what I need it to do.
Well, what I think is interesting too, and you see this at the high school and the college level, is teams that run this offense. A lot of times they play a very aggressive style of defense because it's we know, again, it's usually run by a team that is going to have the smaller stature guys, quote unquote, the lesser talent out there a lot of times. And so again, you're even in the playing field defensively. You want to try to steal possession. So you're playing aggressive, sending zone blitz, and just trying to steal a possession because you can eat up a quarter with just 2 possessions.
So 1st down and 10 here for Jenkins, 4:23 to go. And in fact, they fumbled the football again, and Cadets are there to wrap it up. A host of maroon helmets in there to make the play. And it'll be 1st down and 12, or 2nd down and 12, for Jenkins.
And again, just very, very sloppy conditions. Started raining about 2 o'clock and just hasn't let up since. I guess I don't know how sloppy can it be on a turf field.
Well,
not a lot of slop.
And that's the beauty of doing this. And I know that's one of those situations where you talk about playing in this, and it's like as soon as it stops raining, it's like it never rained.
Right.
When you're playing on turf. So here's the give, straight ahead. BC there to wrap it up. And it will be 2nd down, and man, maybe lost a half a yard there.
This is very much the Forrest Gump scene from Forrest Gump, but where he's in the war, and it just rained sideways, it rained up at you. It's coming from all directions right now.
Haven't had any big drop in rain. That was not a good Forrest Gump.
Well, I didn't set you up very well. I said it was the Forrest Gump scene for Forrest Gump.
Yeah,
you know
that's
that
true.
One?
Yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah.
You know that one scene?
I was running. Here we go. The give.
So is Jenkins.
A little counter. Oh, no, they're going to keep it on a rollout. They have a man deep, and it's going to be caught at the 21-yard line. What a grab. Got behind the defense there, Christian. And, again, your eyes got in the backfield, and they just did a little quarterback bootleg. And
got behind the defense, got behind the cameraman, got behind everybody. Well, we saw that against Burke. I know this is JV, but when you have a team that just runs, all of a sudden you have a guy 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and you're like, whoa, hold on a second.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 from the Cadet 21. Jenkins put together a drive here. 2:43 to go in the 1st quarter. And you and I were talking, first time we've seen the official breakout, the poncho at the ball game.
That's how you know it's serious.
So 1st and 10, 21-yard line. Here's the give coming straight at us and across the 20, inside the 20, down to the 18. So just one of those wing T counter plays, and it gets you 2-3 yards. And most teams are content to do that all night long if they're running that offense. So it'll be 2nd down and about 6, 2:07 to go here in the first quarter. Now 2 minutes as the clock rolls. Jenkins will go under center, and they'll fake it. Quarterback rollout to the right this time. They got multiple receivers and just threw it in the dirt. That time they run the, Christian, you call it the levels route, where they had a guy about 6 yards deep, a guy about 11 yards deep, and a guy about 18 deep, and who weren't you going to cover? That's where he was going to throw it.
Yeah, better discipline that time by the kid at secondary there as the clock rolls off of a incompletion. There we go.
Everybody getting in reps today.
That's right.
So 3rd down here for the BC defense from their own 17-yard line. And here's the give. They'll go straight ahead. A little fullback dive is going to get a 1st down inside the 10 down to the 7. So a gain of 10 on just straight ahead at you.
Yeah, and that time, Kevin, he had a lead blocker going into the hole. The slot back just kind of filtered his way in there, hit the linebacker, and that was a good run there. Again, a lot of these guys for Jenkins, kind of the same thought process is next year, these are the guys you're going to see on Friday nights.
So 1st down and goal for Jenkins. 1:18 and rolling here in the first quarter. And here's the give straight ahead. Another fullback dive, going to get inside the 5. So a gain of 2, maybe 3 on the lean there at the end.
You got to feel like those guys on JV are like, man, can we get Cam Cody out here? That's cool to see Coach Britt out here too. Just communicating with that defense, kind of quizzing them as they go, asking them what the coverage is. A lot of young guys out there who typically play special teams getting some reps with the defense.
So here's the give. A late pitch is going to get a touchdown. Not a great executed option play, but they got it out of there and scored a touchdown once they hit the edge.
I think it was actually a throw. And he was, and he was just able to kind of find his back, who he play fake to. That was a good play. Kind of, I don't know if you ended up seeing Arch Manning's first ever touchdown pass. It kind of reminded me of that. Just booted out, thought he was going to run it, and then saw his running back in the flat.
So now Jenkins will attempt the extra point. And we're going to bring the tee out.
Can't blame him.
And you got a D tackle. Defensive end here kicking the
That's
extra
the kicker
point.
you don't want to rough right there.
That's right. He's going to kick it straight ahead. The snap is good. Kick is a line drive, not close. Hit the flag post.
It's all right.
6-6, though. Our score, 31 seconds to go here in the first quarter. We're coming right back here on WatchBCSports.com.
You know, Christian, after a day of the hottest sports in town, sometimes you just gotta unwind.
Yeah, Kevin, and the perfect place to do it, Cool Vibes Pizza and Wings.
That's because Cool Vibes offers delicious pizza, wings, sandwiches, and salads, all with a Jamaican Caribbean island twist.
And the atmosphere is 100% kicked back. No worries, man.
Plus, they're the home of the Oxtail Pizza.
Cool Vibes Pizza, 4501 Montgomery Street, Savannah. That's coolvibespizza.com. Cool with a K.
Come on and unwind at Cool Vibes.
Welcome back here to BC as it's 6-6, 31 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And joining us here, the head coach of the Benedictine Cadets, Danny Britt. And Coach, obviously this is the building blocks of your program out here. Obviously, we've seen some of these guys play on Friday nights, but what are you looking at when you come out here and watch your guys play on a Thursday night?
Yeah, I want to, you want to see them be disciplined and do the things, that we coach them to do. Obviously, you're looking for, physical plays and guys, being able to make plays and that sort of thing. And And we've seen a little bit of that, but you want to see clean football as much as you possibly can, which is not – they haven't had as much time as, the varsity guys, but you want to see good, clean football as much as possible.
How much do you get to see these guys during a normal practice week when you're prepping for a Friday night opponent? Obviously, you're worried about your 1s and 2s. So
Right.
how much during the course of a week do you actually get to kind of be hands-on with some of these guys and see what they're doing?
Well, a lot of them are special teams guys, so I spend time with them in that regard. And then, of course, a lot of them are scout guys. They're playing scout teams, so they're getting reps, and we're working them. And of course, the way we do it, it's Christian and I were talking about earlier today in the Danny Britt show, was just we play a lot of we all coach the same thing. Every coach coaches, the varsity, the JV, and the freshman team. So I'm the secondary coach, so I coach the seniors that do that, as well as the freshmen. So we're all spending time with them a lot, and but don't get to see them as a collective as much as we would like to necessarily. But I'll take, when I'm taking the varsity, let's say Mondays, I'll take the varsity and we do sled work and do different things, and then the JV will get to work and the freshmen will get to do some different things.
That's the end of the first quarter. Knotted up at 6. We'll step aside. We'll come back with Coach Britt here at BC. This is WatchBCSports.com, and we're built by Islands Ace Hardware.
BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on Facebook.
Once you're wet,
It's over.
welcome back here to BC's. We get ready for the second quarter. JV cadets against Jenkins here this afternoon. And Coach, had an unexpected, obviously, couple of weeks off here. How have you kind of approached that? As obviously, it's almost like starting over again. I know you've had to do that back during COVID and things of that nature, where you'll be thinking you're going to play on Friday night, and then the other team, or you guys had too many COVID guys or whatever, and you couldn't play. But kind of an anomaly here to essentially go 3 Friday nights almost between playing games.
Yeah, that's right. It's the first week was good. I think we needed it, honestly, but this week it was not quite what we needed. It got a little frustrating, I guess you'd say. But we poured a lot into the JV. We poured a lot into the freshman teams. We've been able to kind of establish ourselves there. So, it's been okay. Done a good bit in the weight room, done a good bit, with some fundamental work and kind of give them a little bit of time off, trying to heal up. And then, it's done hopefully we'll come back Monday a little bit fresher, ready to go.
You're running the ball well here, your JV guys.
Yeah, we should be. I mean, that's kind of what we want to establish, across the board. We want to be able to establish it, varsity-wise. We were talking about that again today. Just that is something we've got to be able to do, and hopefully, we can do this with this group as well.
And again, I know the reps here. You got Omari, who's backs up on Friday nights at quarterback. He's getting to play. How important is that for him to, he could go weeks without taking a live game rep if you don't get him into something like this.
It's huge. It's huge for him, and just being able to do those things. And that's why I play him on some special teams. One, he's an athletic kid, but also it's good for him to get reps, live reps. Now, obviously, it's not playing quarterback when he's running down on a kickoff or that sort of thing, but he's at least getting some live, reps.
A little razzle dazzle there.
Yeah, I see that. We're running a reverse. Yeah.
Coach, you obviously watch this, and again, you said, hey, we coach them the same, and are they running Coach DePhillips' playbook or a modified version thereof, I guess, with these guys?
Yeah, it's the same playbook, same defensive scheme, be a little bit more modified. And, of course, we give the head coaches a little, Coach Collins a little bit of leadway, and he may throw in a few extra trick plays or something like that to have fun with. But yeah, it's the same exact playbook, and of course you modify it according to your personnel.
This will be second down here, and looking to throw.
I go up and get it.
You got a couple guys that we've seen play on Friday night, and Mallard there has been a pleasant guy to watch when he's been able to get in there and had some good runs against Buford, and then obviously again against Burt County a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he's got a lot of ability. He's really fast, and we were just talking about him. He runs wide open, and I know that sounds crazy. Well, of course he runs wide open. No, some guys are just, they don't always run full speed. He does everything full speed, and that makes him.
That'll drive you nuts.
Yeah,
right?
that's just crazy. Yeah. I did. I watched the language there, so I'm proud of myself for that one. But yeah, he's done some good things for us, and I think we'll continue to see playing time as we go throughout the year.
And again, I know you've had it's always been kind of assumed who's the next guy, and then we sit up there and watch you guys play, and we're like, well, who's going to be able to fill these shoes? And you could go back 800 players and say, well, there's always been that guy, and it's
Right.
like you come out here and picked off, underthrown football there. Just short, but you have a couple of guys obviously that are out here playing. Karan, going to be a nice receiver for you. He's obviously made some plays for you at varsity. And again, we talked about Mallard there, but people always say, who's going to be the next guy? Well, I mean, it seems like you guys always seem to find that guy.
We try to develop kids. I mean, that's what we should do, and we try to develop really good guys in the program, and that's what we're trying to do. And hopefully we've got a number of guys out here that are going to have to be the next guy. That's just the way it is. And we got a few freshmen out there playing with the JV, and that's a good sign, I think, that some good young guys that are getting things done.
And again, the type program that you guys have put together, and obviously that expectation is top to bottom there. And what do you see of the 9th grade and some of the 10th grade guys that are out here playing and, trying to get to that Friday night level and kind of the approach that they have to it?
Yeah, I've seen a lot. The freshman group this year I thought was just incredible in so many ways. They started showing up in June for the summer workouts and just really did a great job with it. We're always on time, always were where they're supposed to be, doing what they were supposed to do, and just that has continued. So I think that's a really good group, there. And then so I think, and then a number of the sophomores have kind of been the same way, that are just doing the right things in the program and realizing that that's what's going to make them better.
Be 3rd down and 4 here as Jenkins trying to get out of their own end and seeing some wing T. I know Coach Welch top down, the same thing you were just talking about. So you're going to see wing T here. And if you're trying to teach discipline, Coach, especially defensively, discipline. And I mean, what better way to prepare for that than play a team like this?
That's right. And so, yeah, they're running a legit wing T here, and we should know that. We should have a good idea of that and be able to play it. So hopefully we'll dial in here and make some plays. They keep running the basic waggle pass, and
threw it behind him there.
Yep, sure did. And we've let him out of lost contain a couple of times on him.
It's hard, I would imagine, as a young player, probably players that don't play as much on Friday night as well, to say, hey, we're playing, you got to be disciplined. And sometimes that means you're not going to do anything but do your thing. And so
do your job.
Because they want to come out and make a play and say, Coach, hey, I'm making plays out here. But
right.
Obviously what we see is, hey, there's a play versus what your guys are looking at. Like, did you do what we told you to do?
Right.
Did that show up on tape?
So, yeah, that's part of it. And that's part of, making plays is just one thing, or being physically understanding it has got to be, they got to be able to take coaching and learn from it. Taking coaching isn't just allowing, somebody to get on you. It's also learning from it. And what I want to do is be able to coach a kid up. He makes a mistake. I go out there, I correct it. I tell him what to do. The next time I want to see it a little bit better. When a kid just keeps doing the same thing over and over again, now we got an issue. Now you're uncoachable. So, hopefully these kids, can take that coaching and learn.
Ball's going to be blown dead at the Jenkins 48. So BC with a great field position here, and obviously a chance, Coach, to see how you guys respond after the interception. Kind of killed the drive there, the last possession.
Yep. Well, hopefully we'll get a drive going. That was 4th and forever that he threw the interception on. So it was what it was. But we can't get ourselves in those situations and just having 3rd and 4th and long.
So here are the Cadets, 1st and 10, just across the midfield stripe. And a little counter play here. Ooh. slipped and got popped. That's one of those where
Yeah.
looks doubly bad.
Yeah, and we got to block the guy. We ran out there and looked at him.
Been strange not having a game to get ready for a couple of weeks here.
It has. Like I said, the first week was good. We really needed it. It was relaxing. We needed to kind of get away a little bit, but this week has been a challenge, because it's just you're practicing, but you're not really practicing for anything specific. The kids realize that, and so it's just been a little different.
You run that play again. Got the edge that time.
It was a good cut,
and that's going to be enough for a first down.
Should have had must have been a good trap block there on that.
As you guys kind of evaluate, you're not quite at the halfway point, but obviously at this point, region play is right around the corner. How have you kind of evaluated yourselves as a football team? Because obviously the record, you're 1-2. It could have been 2-1, depending on how it played out. But how have you guys kind of evaluated yourselves to this point, knowing that, as you said, how do we come through it physically in the first 3 games, knowing you've got 6 more that are probably all going to be equally as physical as some of the ones that you've played?
We've done some good things. We have good potential, I feel like, in what we can do. We have to establish a run, and that's something we've got to be able to do next week. I mean, it just has to be something we do, and then we can continue to get better in everything else. But that is one thing we have to be able to establish. And I felt like we played physical defensively for the most part. We're just going to have to really dial in and get a little more discipline, I guess, in on that.
There's a quarterback keeper on 2nd down and 6, and Amari Burst is going to have the first down up the right side. 4:16 to go here in the third, and not necessarily giving away all the correction secrets, but what's been kind of your take on why you've struggled to run the football so much here in the first 3 weeks?
It's a couple of different things, and I think one is we were playing really good people, so there you go. Right. So there's that. But also, we felt like we were pretty broad in our scheme. The way we design our offensive line play is very unique. So I think that we probably put them in a little bit of a tough situation. So we've tried to narrow that down a little bit, and but we've really got to kind of narrow down and say, hey, this is what we want to do. These are the runs we're going to make. The passes off of it, and just really go work on it and physically make a decision to physically drive block people.
Swing pass going to lose 3 yards there. It'll be 2nd down and 13. And again, you've got the big stretch upcoming. I think your region still has 4 teams in the top 10, top 8, something like that. The last time I looked. So it's coming, as you've said.
Right. Oh yeah, it's coming, and it's going to be a major challenge. That we've known that the whole time. We've known that that's going to be the scenario.
So 2nd down, and again, tough blocking up front didn't take place, and they're going to lose some more yards on that give 3rd and long. And Coach, you look at the off week as recruiting. Has it changed here now that we're a couple of years into that early signing period, and a lot of teams, a lot of your kids, it seems like not just you but everywhere, try to go ahead and say in August or late July, hey, this is what I'm doing, and let's go play football. Has it become less of a thing in season now?
For the seniors, the big time seniors, it's up.
Hey, there's a fumble, and Jenkins is going to come away with it.
This is sloppy.
Yeah,
this is sloppy. So, the recruiting part is the guys that are big time guys, the seniors, they're done. They've made their decision. They're done. That's what they're doing. And then, for the next year's juniors, they're getting a lot of, I guess, interest. I'm not hearing from the coaches right now.
Right.
They may text and say, hey, we've offered, or we're going to offer this kid, but that's kind of it's again, the big time guys. The more recruiting for the juniors will happen toward the end of the season.
All right, Coach, I know it was raining and it's kind of let up a little bit, but obviously you evaluate the last couple of drives and just sloppiness.
Sloppy. We haven't blocked anybody yet. It's just sloppy. It's bad.
Yeah, there's a give straight ahead. And just coming straight downhill, that's going to be a first down out near the midfield stripe. So a gain of about 11 on first down. And again, conditions-wise, playing a team like this offensively, is it attributed to the weather or just lack of focus maybe?
No, we're just not very good. We're just not very good. So that's way it's going.
Two minutes, 38 seconds to go here before the half as we're chatting with Coach Danny Britt here on a Thursday afternoon. And again, here's some better play from your guys up front, Coach, as they stop that little counter play for no gain. It'll be second down. Talk about some of these guys. Obviously, big defensive linemen, and some of those guys might find themselves in a utility role later down the line. How do you see some of these guys along your offensive and defensive fronts down here?
Yeah, Jameer Lee there is going to have to, be able to maybe take a few snaps on a Friday night every once in a while. Aaron Brown there, both freshmen, have, done some really good things in practice, and so we want to continue working them and see what they can do.
There's that rollout again here to the far sideline and drug out of bounds.
That was a much better job of Cole Schumann there making the play. He kept contained there, so have been breaking contain on us there, and that what is a waggle play.
So it'll bring up, should be third down.
Third down. I get my guy got taken out. He's
He forgot to change the down marker.
Changed the down marker yet.
There he goes.
We do. We got the
digital stick.
The digital. It doesn't cost much more than the the
little old flip ones.
The flip ones, and it lasts longer. Actually, is from what I'm told. Well, hell, it just won't. I mean, are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, what happened? It's third down.
It is third down.
A minute 6 there. Going to come on a little counter play. Oh, nice pop over the middle. Another one.
Yeah.
And the physicality's picked up on that play, Coach, from your back group there, back 7.
Yeah, that's good, but they just got a first down, so or close to it.
And Jenkins is going to call a timeout. Well, Coach, we appreciate you spending
a
whole quarter here with us talking about your football team. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Danny Britt joining us here on this rainy Thursday as we are just about to halftime. Jenkins calls a timeout, and I think he's going to go talk to some folks over there, find out about the down marker, maybe talk to his guys about getting physical at the line of scrimmage.
Only one salty slip up and a whole quarter of JV play. That's downright discipline.
Wants his team to be more disciplined. I said, look, just playing sloppy, not very good offensively.
Yeah, and again, I think a lot of it comes down to focus. These dudes got out of class about 2 hours ago. Then getting on the field, they kind of ran through a thud practice there with the varsity. But it's rainy. Nobody's having a whole lot of fun staying on the sideline, just getting sprinkled. So it's just a focus thing. But if there's anybody who can zero and focus very quickly, it's Danny Britt.
That's right.
If I had to imagine, that's going to be happening here in the near future.
The timing, though, of the down marker is a good
comedic perfection.
Supposed to last longer and zip.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chevy Chase cannot ask for better comedic timing.
47 and a half to go here before the half. And Jenkins just going to go straight ahead. That should be enough. We don't have the down marker, so I think he only needed about a yard to get the first down. So the clock will stop at 41 seconds.
And we'll have starting outside linebacker, defensive end, third Scroggins here with us, committed to Miami at halftime. So stick around for Kevin's interview with him.
Yeah, he's off to a great start defensively as well. Nicely batted ball there at the line of scrimmage, 33 seconds to go. And defensively picking it up here in the last minute or so. And again, a tough thing as a young football player to prepare for, where it's run.
Sure.
And you're saying, hey, watch the give, watch the counter, then they run the waggle, or kind of looks like a bootleg essentially.
Yeah, and it's again, a lot of it's discipline, a lot of it's repping it out, but it's hard to simulate this kind of an offense in practice.
So 33 seconds to go. It'll be
we think
second down.
Yeah.
Second down and 10 after the incomplete pass. And they're not keeping the downs on the scoreboard. Again, thanks to Coach Danny Britt for joining us there for the better part of a quarter, just talking football, and BC's got him struggling in the backfield. They lob it up to an offensive lineman. He can't catch it. Not supposed to catch it.
Oh, because there's a flag.
And there's the flag.
Is that the old illegal touching?
It would be. Yeah, usually when a guy's wearing 77, can't touch it.
Oh, and look.
We went old school.
We're back.
We went old school. So this should be third down. Let's see if we can.
To the old.
This is going to back it up.
See it. Come on. Come on. There it is.
You like to have the
Could have a spare.
like to have the sack there in that situation, but
I mean, it's just as good.
illegal touching. Third down.
I was just simulating the illegal touching.
Oh, I got
Yeah.
you. I was like, why are you hitting me? 25 seconds to go here. And out of a shotgun now. Here comes Jenkins. They'll wind up and look to go deep. Have a man behind the defense and
Oh,
just
goodness.
missed. He was a step behind the BC defense. That'll make it fourth down.
Yeah, that's a conversation that you're having when you come back to the sideline. You're running cover 4 right there. You can't let somebody get deeper than you.
Because, it's touchdown or bust probably for
Correct.
Jenkins. Fourth down and about 22.
Dude, Jenkins, you just do it again?
Yeah, might as well. I think if you're looking at it, if you don't get it, Cadet's probably not going to
I'll say with the way
go 50 yards the way the weather is. And
yeah, the way the defense has been performing, and we saw the extra point attempt.
no Connor Ferguson out there this afternoon.
It's like you said, though, you got to find the next one.
Here's the snap on fourth down. BC bringing the blitz. Oh, hit as he throws. Going to be picked off. I thought they were just trying to knock it down, but it popped up in the air and got picked off.
As we said, kind of just as good as a punt.
It's like a volleyball set
Yeah.
pass almost is what happened there. I think one guy saw INT. The other guy said, just knock it down.
Yeah.
And popped it up for the interception. So 10 seconds to go here before the half. The Bernard Williams halftime report here on a rainy Thursday evening.
Blustery.
Tied at 6 here in this one. Some Cadets we've seen on Friday night and some that we will see in the future. And right here in front of us, you can't see him. Oh, he's there. Karan Hall to the right of your screen. The young man, they're very high on. And what do we have? Flag thrown here on the near side. We're going to mark it off.
Yeah, offsides.
Looks like it. They're going to mark off 5 against Jenkins. So be 1st and 5, but more importantly, only 9 seconds to go, really, here before the half. So if you catch it or run with it, you probably got one shot. Don't know if you'll use up a bunch of timeouts here this far down.
Is this where you just go fumble Ruski, annexation of Puerto Rico?
Or just let Omari throw it. He flings it out in the flat. It's going to be caught. That'll be a first down and out of bounds. But a little
1 second.
liberal clock management there. Timeout BC. I think an extra second or two ran off.
I know, your own guys.
I know. So 1.4 to go. Not a whole lot in the playbook here as the Cadets are going to be second down around just short of the 45-yard line, 44-yard line. No. Yes. Looking at it from this angle, it's I'm trying to count the 5s, and so 1.4 to go. We get out of this timeout, Christian Gokel, and again, if you're evaluating it from a BC standpoint, just offensively been sloppy. You moved the football, and I think threw the interception on 4th and long. You got down there, moved backwards, threw the interception,
it's been
and then the next possession, kind of the same thing. You moved 10, 20 yards, and then went backwards and fumbled the football.
Yeah, it's been a lot of negative plays, but if you could just stay ahead of the chains, should be a lot more successful there in the second half.
So 1.4 to go here before the half. And here's the snap. Burst looking, and there's the horn. He's just going to eat it and take the sack. And that'll do it. A lackluster ending there to the first half, Christian, as you just almost looked like a spring scrimmage where you got in the grass, you're just like, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
And
No,
both players, so I just kind of like
his momentum stopped, and they kind of looked to the ref like, "You good? I'm good. We're all good. Let's go to halftime."
So that'll send it to half, a shorter halftime than you get there on Friday nights. But we'll go to the Bernard Williams halftime report when we come back. This is WatchBCSports.com.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Bernard Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
At Benedictine alumni-owned Stacked Firewood Delivery, we're all about the best premium firewood, conveniently delivered in manageable stacks at the right price. We're talking kiln-dried, pest-free firewood. You see, our custom stack is equal to about 10 fires. Choose oak, cherry, hickory, or mixed hardwoods. Stacked Firewood Delivery. Go to stackedwood.com. That's stackedwood.com.
Welcome back here. We're at the half on this Thursday afternoon, 6-6 our score. And here on the Bernard Williams halftime report, our guest, Friday nights, starting quarterback, Stephen Cannon joining us. And Stephen, appreciate you joining us, man. How are things going here so far in the young season?
They're going well. We're tired of the bye weeks. We want to play. But we've been practicing well.
Speak to how the season's gone for you. I know obviously week one, it was a struggle to get anything going. Week two against Buford, you guys played a heck of a game. And then last week, now 2 weeks ago, you got your first win. Talk about settling in at that quarterback spot. Obviously, we know what it means at BC, and just kind of you settling into that role.
Definitely took me a second. First game was rough, but got my feet under me, I feel like. I feel like we're just moving in the right direction now.
Offensively, as a quarterback, how exciting is it playing for Coach DePhillips and kind of what he allows you and asks you to do at quarterback?
I like it a lot. It gives us a lot of freedom. And the ability to, RPOs and just throw the ball all over the field. It's really fun to play in, and I enjoy it.
This version of the team, obviously, you know where the bar has been set from previous teams. How do you feel about the team and kind of how you guys are progressing here?
I think we're all moving great, but I think the expectation every year is the state championship. So anything shorter than that is seen as not a successful season. And Coach Britt's eyes, so that's the goal every year.
Comfortability with the offense, where you at there? Obviously, you got to be in it a little bit last year, didn't get to play as much, but how comfortable are you now that you've got 3 games under your belt and kind of get the rhythm of it? How comfortable are you on the offensive side and kind of with the offense?
Very comfortable. Our team chemistry is going up every week with all the receivers, 1s, 2s, and maybe even some 3s that are working in. Just keep working on that every week, and it's getting better.
We talk about this a lot because it's really like an embarrassment of riches for you guys at wide receiver, where it's, hey, I got this guy, and I got this guy, and I got this guy. I know this guy running back beside me. He'll go out and catch a pass and make dudes miss. I mean, most teams just don't have 4 or 5 guys that they can cover. What's it like as a quarterback knowing I got 3 or 4 legit targets that can find space, can get open, and can make plays?
It's really nice. Makes my job easy. I don't have to rely on one person to make all the plays for us. I can get the ball to anyone, and they can just go make a play.
What's been the extended layoff like for you guys as a team? Obviously, I know originally you were hoping to play this week, but what's been kind of the team focus the last couple of weeks, knowing, hey, we're going to have a little bit of a layoff here before we play again?
I think just the little details. We're not doing a whole lot of physical things like hitting each other, obviously, because it's bye week, but just working on things to make sure we're all on the same page, catching other people up that are behind on offensive stuff that maybe are playing more defense. Just more of the offensive or the playbook side I feel like is what we've been working on.
Stephen Cannon joining us here at the half. Stephen, hey, man, we appreciate you giving us a couple of minutes. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
And best of luck to you moving forward, and we'll talk to you again soon. We're coming right back here on the Bernard Williams halftime report here on WatchBCSports.com.
BC Brothers Moving is Savannah's most trusted moving service. From residential to commercial to packing supplies, BC Brothers does it all. Let BC Brothers' energetic, trustworthy team wrap it, pack it, and move it for you. Check out BC Brothers online at bcbrothersmoving.com or give them a like on Facebook. Looking for authentic, traditional Southern cuisine for your next special event, reunion, wedding, or celebration in Savannah? For over 45 years, Barnes Restaurant is the most experienced, trusted caterer in all of Savannah. Groups 50 to 5,000. No event too big or small. Barnes does it all. Online at barnesrestaurant.com.
Welcome back here. We're at the half, and our next guest joining us here, you see him on Friday nights as well. Outside linebacker, defensive end, just quarterback eater. How about that? Third Scroggins joining us here at the half. And Third, thanks for joining us. Talk about the season thus far defensively. You guys have come a long way. You got off to a good start, and certainly against Buford showed out as well. How's it coming defensively for you here in your senior season?
It's coming good, through the years. I've been trying to just improve my game, and then while, this being my senior year, I had to, not short a little bit, but be a more of a team player. And, I play a big role in playing outside linebacker, the edge position at BC. So, I had to play a huge role in just, more technique and just, communication. But as a defense, we're a younger group. We have a lot of young kids on our defense. So we just, it's a lot of more, it's more energy to this defense, in my opinion, this year because, younger guys, but they bring a lot of energy to the group. And it's just like we just play as one. We are striking, being fierce. We're not scared of contact like y'all see on Friday nights. But, it's just we're a younger group and, we still growing game by game. So
it happens to everybody, obviously, when you get to your senior year. But how have you kind of taken on being a leader on the defense, knowing that, hey, I'm a guy that everybody's looking at to make a play, especially in crunch time or in a big moment? How have you kind of accepted that role where obviously as you were coming up, you had guys that you looked up to ahead of you and around you? This year, you're kind of that guy on the defense. How have you kind of taken over that role?
It's a big role for me. It's kind of new for me just being a senior now, but I accepted it as a great challenge. I love to be challenged. So, Coach Britt, gives me challenges every week. We play Coach Housen. He's telling me, you got to work on this younger guy. Me being a senior and a leader, I have to, provide the help, for the younger guys because, next year they're going to be playing and then next year. And then so it's like, it's a big role. You got to keep the BC tradition going, So, yes, sir.
Speak to that. I talked to a lot of players at BC. Speak to continuing the BC tradition and what that kind of means to you.
It means it's a big deal in my opinion because we are a military school and it's a lot of discipline what goes into it because Coach Britt comes in years before me and he just has a strict role of character, discipline, and spirituality and it's just in the game we play at BC. You got to keep that tradition going because it makes you a better football player and it makes you a better young man. So that's, in my opinion, why, I'm so hard on that tradition, in that way.
You committed to Miami before the season. What went into that decision? I know there was a decision to be made. You had a lot of schools that would love for you to come play for them. What went into that decision and ultimately led you to say, you know what, I'm going to go down to South Florida and play at Miami?
My decision, it played a huge role, the academics part of Miami, and just having Coach Taylor. He's a Hall of Famer, not head coach, but defensive lineman. He played the same position as me, so it was like, why not go to Miami where I can be coached by a Hall of Famer and then have a great education and the smaller classroom sizes, kind of like BC. They have smaller classroom sizes, but it's a college, so you don't really see a lot of small classroom sizes. So it played the academics and just Coach Taylor played a huge role in my decision.
How hard was it to narrow it down finally? Because obviously you're getting love from everybody, right? I mean, right. So people don't think we see it sitting from afar. We're like, oh man, he can do it. But internally, how hard was it to choose Miami finally and then call everybody else and be like, hey, fellas, I'm done. This is where I'm going.
It was very hard. Them 4 schools, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Miami, and Auburn. I had love for all of them. They're great coaches, and it was like, Miami's where it's at. And, I appreciate you, what I'm saying, the communication, and, they didn't critique, but better my game.
Right.
Yeah, I talk with them and they watch my film to better my game. So it was kind of, you had that connection with them, as a person. So it was very hard, but Miami's where it's at.
I was saying you've been practicing your U and all that.
Yes, sir.
Third Scroggins, our guest here at the half. Third, thanks so much. We appreciate it. We'll be seeing you on Friday nights, and we're coming right back with a second half right after this.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Bernard Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the Shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
Welcome back here to Benedictine as we get ready to start the second half. We are tied at 6 apiece. Jenkins won the toss and deferred to the second half, so they will take it here to get us underway in the second half. And there is a kick going to come down at the 18-yard line and head across the 20, 25, and coming near side. Nice open field tackle that time. And that's where Jenkins will take over at the 26-yard line. But again, pleasure talking to both those young men at the half, Stephen Cannon and Third Scroggins. Of course, Third going to Miami. Stephen Cannon, I would imagine before summer gets here again, will have his choice of several places to decide from going into his senior season. But two young men that are leading this football team. And you not only talk to them about why they make some of the decisions, but obviously you look at the kind of character and players and people that BC turns out, and hey, pretty straightforward. And I appreciate both those young men giving up some time and chatting with us here.
Yeah, and both of them, what I find interesting is Third, obviously a senior, Steven's a junior, but both of those guys very young and have a lot of room to grow physically and mentally, but specifically on the physical side, they're already Division I talents, and they're only going to get bigger. So just two extreme talents. We're going to see them playing a lot on Saturdays, but it was cool. I thought they were listening to Third talk about his decision-making to go to Miami and just getting coached by Mario Cristobal and his staff, obviously some Saban disciples there who we saw it's kind of coming to fruition. Obviously the difference, a great quarterback with Cam Ward down there at Coral Gables. But I mean, you go in there and just lay the wood to Florida in the swamp. I don't care who the coach is, what players are playing for Florida. It takes a lot to do that. So Mario Cristobal's kind of got that one turned around a little bit. And now he's going to start landing guys like Third and getting up into Georgia to pull some of those guys away. But the decision, like you talk about academics, and I think that makes a lot of sense, man. Just playing somewhere that reminds you of where you come from, small class sizes, private school. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Second down and 8, a little counter give right up the middle. Is going to have a big room and missed tackle there and across the 40 out to the 45, close to midfield before he was drugged down. That's going to be a first down on second and long, and that's just a little misdirection for you straight at you.
Yeah, and he barely got that handoff off, but that was slick. A great little play there and able to pick up a big gain. Just had that defensive line shooting 3-4 yards upfield, just handed it off to a guy. It's a counter, but you kind of call it gut just because you're just knifing him up the gut right there, right off the center. Great play.
So it'll be 1st and 10 here for Jenkins. Again, we're tied at 6. This JV game again, we're here we were expecting to have a game this week, and obviously no trip to Ohio. Nice stack up there. If they tried to come off tackle the other way, it's going to be 2nd down and 8. So we're here watching some of the cadets of the future play, and again had a chance to talk with Third Scroggins and Stephen Cannon there. And again, Third, I thought, as you said, laid it out pretty good why he wanted to go there to Miami. And people forget Miami private school, so it's not a huge university. I think that might be like the 13 to 15, 16,000 range. So when you start looking at the Floridas and Michigans and all that, have 60,000 people, not certainly that. So good decision there. And then, Stephen Cannon, obviously you talk about running this offense, and here's a little misdirection again, another missed tackle, and then stopped on the second effort, maybe a couple there. It'll be 3rd down and about 6. But playing in this offense, man, as a quarterback, and the receivers talent you have and some of the guys that you have at your disposal, it's got to be fun because I think, as he said, it's not I'm honed in on one guy where you see it, right? And there's nothing wrong with this at the high school level. It's, hey, it's 3rd down and 8. I know who I'm throwing the ball to.
Sure.
Everybody in the stadium does. Why? Because he's a D1 talent and he's going to get open or try to. Most teams do not have 3 and 4 defensive backs that can cover that many guys in space. Nice rush by the Cadets that time, and they'll stop the play there for a loss of 2, and it'll be 4th down, and Jenkins is going to have to punt this football.
Well, going back to your point, what I'm curious about, Kevin, is it's where Stephen Cannon's at in his development. He's tall enough. We've seen the arm talent. He has the ability to be a Division I quarterback. And I think a lot of times we think back on the quarterbacks of the past that we've seen come through and play football, not just in the city of Savannah, but around the state. And you always think back to the end, right? Like what they were doing right before they go off and sign and play college football. Where were they at when they were their first 2-3 games in as a junior? Like, were they putting up 300 yards a game and 4 touchdowns, or were they still kind of trying to find themselves? And I think Stephen against Buford in the second half started to find himself a little bit, and a lot more against Burke. But I still think there's some thoughts that are going into what style of offense is BC going to run with him, and who are his targets, and what does he feel super comfortable with. I'm going to be curious, Kevin, not 3-4 months from now, but 15 months from now. Where is Stephen Cannon at? Because I think he's going to be truly special. One of those guys that's going to have those G5 offers. Potentially, hey, it could be P5 by 2026 when he's going off to play college. I don't know if you saw the news today where you got Boise State and Colorado State and a couple other schools headed to the Pac-12. So we could be on our way back to a P5.
That was official? I know they said they had offered.
No, it was one of those hey, we're going to offer you, even though you've already accepted it behind closed doors. They accepted those offers really quickly. But it's just he's going to be one of those guys that's a Power 5 level quarterback. I'm just curious what the growth looks like from now into the playoffs and from the playoffs into next season. And then we've seen it before with – think about Holden Garner, how much better he was as a quarterback from the beginning of his junior year to what we saw when he was a senior. So it's going to be fun to watch, and he's got all the tools to be special.
1st and 10 here for BC, and they'll give it straight ahead. That's going to be Mallard, and he'll get – looks like 3. They're going to mark it 4. 2nd down and 6. And again, as you said, he's going to have some choices to make. And as his progression continues, he's already got the size and the frame of a quarterback. And again, I think very aptly, you go back to just the last 2 guys here before him. Here's the snap. Burse is going to pitch it out in the flat and can't get the corner turned. Going to be 3rd down, maybe a half a yard. But you go back to Holden Garner. What was when he was playing in 10th grade? It was dude's got the arm. He's got a cannon. Got to dial it back a touch. And
I think even as a junior, it was the same thing.
It was fine to touch on the pass. Luke was control the aggressiveness and also fine to touch a little bit because, when you got the arm, you want to use it.
Luke came in as a junior and won a state championship.
He did. I'm saying, but in the early games, even though they were winning, it was, hey, you got to locate a little bit better, find the touch. And I think you're doing some of that with Stephen Cannon straight ahead. Nice run that time. Going to be awfully close, and that'll be a 1st down by about a yard. So move the chains for BC, trying to put together a drive here in their first possession of the second half.
But to your point, it's a lot of controlling, but I think it's kind of the opposite for Stephen. I think really he has focused so much on not making the mistake that sometimes we're missing out on the easy things that could be a touchdown. So I think the more reps he gets and the more live fire he gets, the better it's going to be. I think a lot of you can attribute a lot of the success that Luke had as a quarterback in his first year as a junior to the fact that he had been playing varsity football from the time he was a freshman. He was just playing tight end and safety.
Right.
So it's just the speed of the game wasn't something that was going to scare or confuse him, and he was certainly not going to be afraid of getting hit. I'm not saying Stephen's afraid of getting hit, but it's just Luke Kromenhoek came in as a junior and was used to the speed of varsity football and was kind of able to dial that in. And I think a very different quarterback there with Stephen. I think he more closely resembles what we saw with Holden, maybe a little bit more dynamic with the legs, maybe not quite as strong and live as an NFL arm like Holden had, but all in all, just he has all the attributes. I'd like to see him cut it loose a little bit.
Yeah, well, that may be coming down the road. Nice give on the end around there. Got 11 yards and a 1st down. And BC putting together a nice little drive here. in the third quarter. Here's the snap. They'll give it inside straight ahead. Ooh, thought maybe a face mask in there. Kind of saw the running back's head get turned, but he'll get down close to the 45.
Yeah, going back to what Coach Britt said earlier.
Maybe a half yard. Go ahead. Sorry,
no, you're good. This line's just they're getting to who they need to block, but now you just got to keep your feet moving and stay on your blocks. And that's not just at the JV level. That's, I think, one of the biggest things you can point to with the varsity where they've struggled to maintain a run game.
2nd down and 9 here for the Cadets, and they'll go 4 wide here. And I like they're running a similar version of what you see from Coach DePhillips there on Friday night.
Yeah, even a more simplified version. Same formation, same calls.
And Burst changing the protection scheme up front. He'll flip a running back there as well. A lot of talking and a lot of movement here for the Cadets. They get it just off. Burst going to keep it himself, running to the right, and cuts back inside, and he'll get close to a first down. Did the ball come out? Nope, they're going to say he was down. It'll be 3rd down and 2, but that time, Christian did a lot of movement, a lot of talking, a lot of discussion, and barely got that play off.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, too, where you got some guys potentially playing different positions on the offense, and now you're like, hey, it's 4 receivers out there. Like, no, that's 4 very distinctly different positions, right? So you have some guys playing in some different spots, making sure they're knowing what they're going to do. But Amari Burst, I think, is a super interesting prospect here. Obviously, I think Stevens kind of got that quarterback situation sewn up for the next couple of years, but Amari, a class of 2027 guy, and Kevin, a big baseball prospect.
And he'll keep it. Oh, nothing there. And Jenkins is going to take him down for a loss. That'll be 4th down. He kind of spun looking for the give, and no running back was there, so he just had to eat it.
I think 4th down this deep into Jenkins territory, probably going to go for it.
So it'll be 4th and call it 2.5. You look at the down marker over there, you got to click it. One extra click over there. Kind of a smudge.
I know what's happening.
So trips here to the near side. They've got one receiver up top. They're trying to hard count here. Now Burst talking to his offensive line. He'll check back and see if they're going to try to get this play off or they're going to call timeout.
Well, I don't see a play clock, so.
The official's keeping one, and instead, here's the give straight ahead and across the 35 inside to the 34. That's enough for a first down. Just straight downhill and move the chains.
Yeah, no benefit of the iPads here during the JV game, so that's just Coach Collins eyeballing it and saying, hey, we're going right up the middle.
Go straight downhill. So same formation for the Cadets here, 1:12. And here's the give on the end around. Straight at you, flag comes in. This is going to come back as they continue to push ahead. Coming right at us.
Into your living room.
And this one's going to come back. The way it was thrown and where it came from, it's got to be holding against BC, no doubt. And they're going to put the ball all the way back outside the 40, so it'll be first down. I think the hold actually happened ahead of the sticks, so it'll be first down and maybe like 18.
Someone tell Jack Holland he's in our shot.
Final minute. I was going to say, BC putting together a drive. You'd like to see them eat up the clock and punch it in here.
But once again, it's kind of gotten their own way.
And here's the snap. They'll go deep over the middle, and they got a man wide open. It's Karan Hall. He'll take it in for the touchdown. How do you forget about him? I don't know, but he was all back there by his lonesome.
That's a tall person to forget about.
So a nice pass from Burst to Karan Hall, and BC takes the lead 12-6. They'll try the extra point.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier just the touch, and right there has the touch. How about this? The QB1 out here playing ball boy. That's the teamwork we like to see.
That's right. So BC going to try the extra point here.
No, I think they're going to leave the offense out there.
Oh.
So Coach Britt was kind of upset about it. He said, how are you going to go for it if you got a kicking ball out there?
So BC going to go for 2. Now they're going to try to get lined up. 39 seconds to go in the quarter. And here's the give straight ahead, and Ron Mallard going to punch it in for the 2-point conversion. 14-6.
The old wing tee out of the power tee out of the shotgun.
There you go.
Haven't seen that on varsity yet. Could it be a sign of
keeping
things to come?
it in the bag for later? We'll step aside. We're coming back. This is Cadets football on Watch BC Sports, built by Islands Ace Hardware.
Ace Hardware is celebrating 100 years of helpful, and Island's Ace Hardware is Savannah's own. 318 Johnny Mercer Boulevard in Wilmington Island. They're our hometown, locally owned Ace Hardware. From A to Z, they've got it all to help you get things done. Island's Ace Hardware is a proud BC sponsor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Welcome back here to Benedictine. 39.5 to go here in the third. Nice drive by the Cadets. Went right down the field and ate up about 6 minutes and punched it in the end zone. That's varsity level stuff there. Eat the clock, put it in the end zone.
Yeah, and overcame a 1st and 20 there after the holding call to do it.
So a line driver is going to go out of bounds, and great field position here for Jenkins on the change of possession after the touchdown. So Cadets.
You did 2 things right in a row. Couldn't make it 3.
So probably just one more play here in this third quarter. And then they'll flip sides. But the Cadets, again, a interesting kind of run in the schedule here, Christian, where it's not 3 weeks off, but you're going to go 3 weeks between games, essentially, once you count Friday night to Friday night. And then Westminster will be at Memorial Stadium next Friday. And then right after that, it's the gauntlet of region play.
That's exactly right. I was kind of talking to Coach Britt about this earlier. It stinks because you have 2 weeks off in a row, but at the same time, you're about to get on the speeding train. It doesn't stop. And the goal ultimately is to make it to the state championship. You got to make the playoffs first, and you wouldn't have a break potentially. I believe they put one in this year. I know they put a bye weekend this year in the playoffs because Georgia and Georgia Tech are playing on Friday.
The Friday after Thanksgiving, yeah.
So I believe that's quarterfinals. The week between quarterfinals and semifinals, there will be a break. So you'd have to make it to semifinals for that to count and matter. But still, you would not have a break until then. That deep into November, and you're playing some dang good football teams before then.
That's a long run there. I'll be interested to see how this region does in the playoffs because, again, haven't seen the new rankings for this week, but I want to say I know there were 4 in the top 8. Here's the quarterback keeper nicely open in the midfield and up the sideline and out of bounds to end the quarter. And BC leads at 14-6. Jenkins, though, gets it all the way out across midfield. We'll flip sides and come back for the final stanza here at Benedictine. This is Watch BC Sports, built by Islands Ace Hardware.
At Benedictine alumni-owned Stacked Firewood Delivery, we're all about the best premium firewood, conveniently delivered in manageable stacks at the right price. We're talking kiln-dried, pest-free firewood. You see, our custom stack is equal to about 10 fires. Choose oak, cherry, hickory, or mixed hardwoods. Stacked Firewood Delivery. Go to stackedwood.com. That's stackedwood.com.
Welcome back here as we go to the fourth. 10 minutes to go. Cadets leading Jenkins 14-6 here on it's actually kind of, has it stopped raining completely? It's just kind of hazy, but hadn't seen the sun all day long, and it's just been a drizzly, rainy afternoon, but the Cadets are on top. And Christian, before we went to break there, I want to say 4 are in the top 10, maybe all 4 teams in the top 8 in BC, Ware, Perry, and Warner Robins.
Yeah, and New Hampstead's no slouch. I mean, you just see what Rayshawn Truell, their quarterback's been able to do. I think they've lost 2 games while putting up almost 100 points combined in those 2 games. So obviously no slouch there in New Hampstead either. So this is just about to be firepower after firepower after firepower in terms of the offenses and the teams that you're going up against.
Hard count got BC to jump off side. So you start the fourth quarter with a penalty. It'll be 1st and 5. But yeah, you look at the region. Wayne County hasn't won a game, but they've played 2 schools up in classification, lost to them both, and then played Pierce County, who's a favorite to win a state championship in 3A, and lost there. And it's like they could be a great football team that at the end of the day might not win a game potentially at the end of the season. It had, for as much as people talk about BC's schedule, Wayne's was
brutal,
no joke either.
Yeah.
In the non-conference, or the non-region.
Yeah.
So that's what you're looking at.
Unfortunately, just they've lost some players from that team. The big one, the Wallace kid, the linebacker, running back, who's I believe committed to Arkansas, heads over to Appling County during the middle of the season, which is that's a blow for any team. But still, one thing you're going to see when you play a Wayne County team, and that's pretty much 300 pounds across the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
So again, absolutely no weeks off coming up for the Cadets.
And here's a quarterback keeper off. Oh, he's got some nice moves there as he gets in the hole. That's going to be a first down. And move the chains on a quarterback keeper. So give credit to Jenkins offensively. They've run their wing tee. They, much like the Cadets, Jenkins gets down to about the 30, and then they try to get too cute, I think, running their offense. Yeah. And go into more bootlegs and rollouts and end up kind of costing themselves.
I think that was the waggle again, but instead of trying to take it outside, he just kind of saw a hole and hit a little shimmy and picked up first down.
So clock rolls here at 9:32 to go in the ball game.
Now I can't tell if it's raining or if we're just officially at 100% humidity, so you can see the moisture in the air.
I was going to say, I'm like, I'm wondering the same thing. It's like, are my glasses just have residue on them, or? So here's the first down play. A little inside give. Oh, nice stick in the hole there. And BC will bring him down after a gain of about 3. Bring up second down.
Yeah, I'm excited. Well, you have back-to-back trips, Ware County, and then heading to Warner Robins. Before, I believe, you come back and play Perry.
Yeah.
Sprinkling some New Hampstead and Wayne County in there, and you got a heck of a schedule.
That's right. And then, as you said, you get into the playoffs, which, as Christian said, for the first time, has an off week, which I believe that's the first time I can remember they instituting an off week in the middle of the playoffs.
It's happened before, but for other reasons, I believe that something in the AJC said it happened like once before.
And here's a little quarterback keeper off the right side. BC reads it well, maybe a gain of 2. It'll be third down and about 6.
But if anything, I think that's just going to help the quality of those last couple of games.
Better semifinal games,
Get to the semifinals, and you're just coming off of a gauntlet of region games and then heading into the playoffs. Your team's banged up. I think it's pretty cool. And I believe they say the official reason that they moved it is the SEC championship, and that it wouldn't match up with Mercedes-Benz playing the state championships there. But it was interesting that like 2 days after ESPN announced that Georgia and Georgia Tech were being flexed to Friday night, they're like, yeah, I think we got a bump in a bye week right there. So the last act of Robin Hines right there, and we appreciate it.
Here's a quarterback throw over the left side. Has a man. Nicely played, and maybe a touch too strong. I will do it again. It'll be fourth down. We'll see what Jenkins decides to do. And I wonder a little bit. We know how much we hear. I wonder how much two guys named Kirby Smart and Brent Key might have said, hey,
you ain't lying. That's
this prime recruiting. We might want to go to a state semifinal and check some of these out. You think you could just throw a bye week in there?
100%.
And also, that's the other big thing this year is that it's moved from Georgia State to Mercedes-Benz, which I personally, nothing wrong with Georgia State. I think the weather was just abysmal when we were there, and it made for some interesting atmosphere. But obviously, the marquee stadium in this state is the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
100%.
And that's where they're going to play the state championship.
I think you should switch it every year.
Fourth down. They're going to throw it again over the middle, have a man going deep, and it is too strong. Boy, had some guys open, just haven't been able to hit them. And it'll be a turnover on downs for Benedictine, and they'll take over again, which if they have a similar drive to last time, might eat up most of the rest of this game. 7:28 to go.
Officially 7-minute clock drive kind of a style right here. But no, you're talking about those guys going and the recruiting. I think more so than that, and it very well might have been a part of it. But I think a lot of it just has to do with Georgia is a football state. And how are you going to make somebody choose between potentially going and watching their kid playing in the semifinals or their local school playing the semifinals on a Friday night or watching their home college team in the biggest game in the state every year? So I think a really good decision there by the GHSA.
Well, plus potentially, depending if they keep that format. Nice give here off the left side. Gain of about, 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5. But, yeah, I mean, potentially if you're playing at Mercedes-Benz and Georgia Tech's playing down the street, it could be all kinds of traffic snarls and everything else trying to get teams in and out of there. Here's the give. This will be Mallard off the right side. Boy, look at the speed go there on the outside. He's got a first down, lowers the boom, and a flag comes in late. We got a man injured for Jenkins, and I think this one's going to come back.
No, they beat one holding call before.
And we got a man down for Jenkins. Haven't seen anybody come out. Oh, no, there they are. And he's kind of holding that lower leg. Maybe got rolled up on. We'll step aside while they tend to him. It's 14-6 here in the fourth quarter. BC's got the football. We're coming right back. This is Watch BC Sports, built by Islands Ace Hardware.
The honor, the heritage, the tradition of excellence. The home for Benedictine Cadets football is WatchBCSports.com. All the games, play-by-play, and in-depth analysis. Home of the Danny Britt Show. Be a part of the action as your Benedictine Cadets take the field in their quest for yet another championship. On the official home of the Cadets, WatchBCSports.com. And look for us on Facebook and Instagram at WatchBCSports.
Welcome back here as that young man being helped off the field. And you hope it isn't too serious, but obviously get down there in the trenches and maybe got rolled up on his ankle or something.
Yeah, turf just doesn't have a whole lot of give. Obviously wishing the best for him. It's the one thing you don't want to see in any game,
Absolutely.
But especially one doesn't count in the record books.
So it'll be 2nd down and 20 for BC after the hold brings that play all the way back. So 6:55 to go here in the ball game. The clock's rolling, so here's the snap to Burse. He'll throw it out in the flat. Going to be caught up the near sideline and still driving those legs. Ooh, and a nice tackle at the end of that play. And that's Cadets are going to get almost all of that penalty back. It'll be 3rd and about 10.5.
Do that again.
And again, that's one of those BC staples. You just a little quick out to the flat, and they get BC with a penalty again. Yes, they did.
Sure, that'll make Coach Britt super happy.
But a beautiful facility. And again, if you talk with the folks here at BC about the vision for this place, Christian, it may take a while, but like you said, they want to do it right and really make this a first-class facility. So 2nd and 6 miles. Here's Burst going to let it go up the sideline. Oh, and right through the hands. Ron Mallard would have had it right there at the sticks. And you say, what's in the playbook for 2nd and about 30? You just let your speedster go and throw it up to him.
Yeah, just cook it down the sideline and see what happens. I thought that was good, though, because they kind of sent him in motion towards the quarterback and then kicked him back out. And so you kind of have a running start heading towards the sideline. As soon as it snapped, you turn it upfield. Some teams kind of play that razor's edge, whereas could he be turning upfield before the snap? But still, you just have them full speed right at the snap, and then it's kind of hard for that DB if he's playing press man or any kind of zone to keep up with him unless you have help over the top.
So 3rd down in a very, very, very long ways. They got to get all the way out across the 40 to the 43. And they're backed up inside the 20. Here's the snap to Burst. They're just going to give it straight ahead and making a man miss. Nice move in the hole and still on his feet. He's going to get out across the 30, close to the 33-yard line. And it'll bring up 4th down, and that's just hey, we got a long ways to go. Run the ball and then punt it.
Yeah, keep that clock running.
So inside 6 minutes to go here in this one. Cadets holding on to a 14-6 lead. And should Jenkins score, they'll have to go for 2 to try to tie it up. BC going to go for it? Ultimate confidence in your defense. I don't think Jenkins is lined up right.
Yeah, I think they might have got on with too many people on the field.
And they're going to mark it off 5 against Jenkins. So 4th and 10, you got him on a hard count. Now it's 4th and 5.
Can you get him again?
But if you get caught on the hard count twice, that's just back-to-back plays, just brutal.
Don't know if I want to be on the bus on the way home.
At least it's a short ride back to Jenkins.
Correct. Does Amari Burst have a punt in his repertoire?
They're going to go for this. 4th down. Actually call it about 6 here. Trying to get everybody lined up. And we actually, some of the things you don't see a lot on Friday nights. You saw A.J. DePhillips over here working on the corrections to the offensive line. Here's Amari Burst coming up. He's going to keep himself around the right side and get turned around. He's not going to get it. He's going to lose a yard. And Jenkins going to take over in great field position. But actually had the 5 linemen lined up and was talking to his quarterback saying, look, we go up, we're checking, get back, and let's get back into running the play. Probably taking way too long to get lined up and ready to go.
Yeah, it's not one of those situations. You see a lot of schools where varsity, JV, and 9th grade are all very separate teams. But BC, it's all the same team. They're all working together, practicing together Monday through Thursday, and then they'll split off and send the JV guys to these games. But it's all the same coaches. AJ DePhillips is the quarterback coach for the varsity and for the JV. So they're all here. The whole varsity staff's here, staying on the sideline. There's coaches who are the head coach. Coach Collins is the head coach for the JV, but there's a full commitment for the staff for not just varsity, but JV as well.
Here's a little rocket toss off to the left side. BC stringing it out, and that looks more like a BC defensive reaction to that, trying to make you run side to side, maybe gets a yard on the play.
Yeah, that one didn't have quite the lethal speed you typically see on those rocket tosses. A little bit delayed on the snap and then had to kind of play catch up. Running back had to wait for it. If you time those perfect, man, it's hard to stop them from getting to the edge.
So it'll be 2nd down and 9 here for Jenkins. Clock rolls. Oh, he ran out of bounds. 5:02 to go.
Yeah, it's not college football where they just try to get the games over as quick as possible.
College football, the only sport that wants to give you less. Here's a rocket toss back the other way. BC trying to string it out, does a nice job and make the tackle. And this one's going to cost Jenkins 10 as they get a hold on the backside trying to open it up.
Kevin, we haven't said it yet.
Oh, the new clock rules in college football? Terrible.
No, you can't run East and West against BC.
That's right. Well, that too.
Now we got a flag.
Yeah, clock rules college terrible.
Yeah, that you get rid of.
Hey, give me only 3 possessions a quarter. That's great. Yeah,
that's atrocious. You get rid of stopping the clock on first downs.
Out of bounds.
Got rid of the out of bounds, and so you have less college football, but you can get more commercials in a 3.5 hour window. Terrible. But hey, you got to pay those.
I would like to see the.
You got to pay the SEC $60 million a school somehow.
I would like to see the results of actual plays, even with teams running hurry up. See what the number of plays are and how much it's probably come down.
Oh, that's a lot.
And now Jenkins wants a timeout. 4:33 to go in the 4th quarter. Trying to put together a drive, but BC's holding on 14-6. This is Cadet Football on Watch BC Sports, built by Islands Ace Hardware.
At Benedictine alumni-owned Stacked Firewood Delivery, we're all about the best premium firewood, conveniently delivered in manageable stacks at the right price. We're talking kiln-dried, pest-free firewood. You see, our custom stack is equal to about 10 fires. Choose oak, cherry, hickory, or mixed hardwoods. Stacked Firewood Delivery. Go to stackedwood.com. That's stackedwood.com. The honor, the heritage, the tradition of excellence. The home for Benedictine Cadets football is WatchBCSports.com. All the games, play-by-play, and in-depth analysis. Home of the Danny Britt Show. Be a part of the action as your Benedictine Cadets take the field in their quest for yet another championship. On the official home of the Cadets, WatchBCSports.com. And look for us on Facebook and Instagram at WatchBCSports.
Welcome back here to Benedictine. It's going to be 3rd down and 12 for Jenkins coming off this timeout. Here's the snap. They'll fake the end around, another little rollout. Cadets in pursuit, and nicely done. Ooh, and a hit there on the far sideline. Going to stay in bounds, but that's a heck of a way to lose 2 yards and bring up 4th down. And I imagine if you're Jenkins, you got to go for this. You got to give this ball back. You're probably not getting it back.
Interesting decisions, because when Jenkins has had success, it's been up the middle, and then 3 straight calls on the most important drive of the game, and they all go to the outside.
Even at the JV level, you're not going side to side.
If there's one thing they are instilling in these guys from the jump, it's how to pursue sideline to sideline.
So clock rolls under 4 minutes.
And just as the game is coming to a conclusion, the sun decides to make an appearance.
Very faintly. So 4th down and probably the play of the game here, because I would imagine BC want to run off the rest of this. 3:30 to go on 4th and 12. Going to wind up, go up the left side. He has a man. It's going to be caught. How do you do that on 4th and 12? Right up the far sideline and a touchdown. As you said, Christian, on 4th down, can't get beat deep in the end zone on 4th and 12.
And it's been hot and humid out here because you catch the long touchdown pass. You want to celebrate, but then you catch the calf cramp. That's tough. But still, a huge throw there, Kevin. And like you said, you just cannot let somebody get behind you, especially you're up by 8. Have them pinned deep in just a no-win situation. The only thing you can't let them do is get behind you, and you let a wide receiver run straight down the sideline.
So Jenkins obviously going to go for 2 here. They do have some large gentlemen on the offensive front.
Both sides.
And Jenkins going to call timeout, I think, to make sure they know what they want to run here. So trying to tie this thing up with a 2-point conversion. But BC continuing to fight. I think if you're Danny Britt looking at your guys, you've gotten beat on some busted coverage, tackling at times in the first quarter. Not great, but offensively it's been – spit and sputter. Look good at times and not so good at times. No consistency or flow, really, to what's happening in the offense.
I think that's just JV football.
I mean, it is, but yeah.
And it's not just –
I'm not disagreeing with you.
It's not just JV football in terms of the players, too. It's different staffs, and you're giving coaches opportunities to come out and call plays. So, again, when AJ DePhillips potentially one day gets his big-time coaching offer and he's a head coach somewhere, you have some people ready to rock and roll on offense for the Cadets, and the same goes for Jenkins. It's not Tony Welch over there calling the plays. All right, here we go. Sideline to sideline has it worked. You just go straight ahead.
They're in that wing T look. They'll quarterback keep it off the right side, and he'll get in for the 2-point conversion.
Fooled everybody, including the cameraman, but tie ball game.
(14-14), 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. So now, instead of trying to run out the clock, BC's going to try to score here.
Yeah, now you get to see potentially what this 4-minute offense looks like. Throwing the football has not gone overly well today. You had the one big one for the touchdown there, but outside of that, some interceptions, some missed guys.
Yeah, Karan Hall with the big touchdown reception.
Yeah, 3:20 on the clock, though. Still plenty of time to just run your whole offense. And, again, the conditions have improved markedly since the first half, so a little bit easier to throw the football now, I think. Also, again, this is the guy you do not want to rough.
Jenkins running somebody on late. Now they have enough guys out there. And here comes the kick. Oh, it's a little squibber.
Gotta get
Going
on
to
it.
be skipped up. Ooh,
Hands team.
a little bit of a bobble, but happened to fall right back on it. So 3:18 to go. And BC's going to have the football. And great field position.
Well, great awareness.
That was essentially an onside kick.
Yeah, great awareness right there. Not just turning and running away from the football. Kept his eye on the ball and is able to come up with it. I know it's still kind of slick out there right now, so that puts you in plus field position right now for the Cadets. So big time play there.
Yeah, at their own 40 here. 3:18 to go, so plenty of time to get down and try to score some points. Tie ball game. So here is Burst out of a shotgun. He's got trips here to the near side. Karan Hall's up top of the formation. They'll just give it straight ahead.
Yeah, Jenkins just slanting everybody inside. They were playing. Hey, if you're going to beat us, you have to do it through the air right now.
Yeah, that's going to be a yard and a half. It'll be second down and 9. Clock keeps rolling.
Well, this is where typically you'll see BC, the varsity level, when they start crashing inside on that run. Doesn't mean you have to abandon the run, but now all of a sudden you hit a jet sweep, you hit a buck sweep, you just hit one of those little bubble screens to the outside. Just they got to be soft somewhere.
And they'll roll Burst here to the near sideline, try to get a wall. The blockers cuts back, makes the man miss. Oh, and got absolutely laid out at the 45. So a tough 3 yards.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You don't want to take that at the end. But they stack their arms, try to give that wall of blockers.
Yeah. And that's one of those ones, Kevin, where you kind of pay attention and try to run that one again, but then leak your receiver out over the top. Just have him kind of pull up Tim Tebow style and do a jump pass.
So third down and 5. They give to Mallard off the right side, and he'll make a man miss, and there's the elite speed. First down and more inside the 35 to the 34, and you saw those couple of cuts, and that was pretty much it. I mean, he was going to be a tough guy to get down, and when it's gotten tough, just give it to 2-7 and
yeah, you're not lying.
Let him make it happen.
And if you're BC, you start slowing it down now.
And what do we have? Offsides against Jenkins. So a free 5 yards with 2:12 to go in the ball game.
Coach, you slow it down here, or you going tempo? To translate, he said, just get some dang points.
So first down and 5 here for BC. They're at the Jenkins 28. Here is Burst out of a shotgun. They put Mallard in motion. Now they're counter back off of that, making a man miss at the 25, 20, 15, 10. Still on his feet before he's brought down at the 7-yard line. Make it to 6. And it'll be first and goal for the Cadets with 1:57 to go on the clock.
Yeah, just kind of going back to some of the tried and true stuff here, running counter plays and just handing it off between the tackles, picking up big chunks of yardage, and now you're in scoring position here.
So first and goal from the 6. Cadets have trips up top. Burst will just roll it to his right. He'll cut it back inside. 2-1, leaps in there, touchdown. So BC on the board, and they do it in just over a minute and a half. And they take the lead 20-14.
Yeah, some
nice drive that time.
Yeah, that's a big-time answer right there. Coming out, again, starts with the recovery of the onside kick, onside squib, whatever you want to call it. Starts with that, and then boom, 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 into the end zone right there. Offensive line, I thought, answered the call there, Kevin. And then I thought the quarterback Burst there. Just a great job coordinating that drive.
So now for the point after. And now the snap was horrible. They're going to have to roll out of there. Burst going to pick it up, and he's just going to have to eat it. Snap was in the dirt. He couldn't dig it out.
I was going to say the snap just kind of dribbled back there.
Honestly, I think Jenkins was offsides a little bit there as well. Got a little bit of early jump. So 1:45 to go. Cadets back up by a touchdown. And now you just got to play defense and not let anybody get behind you.
Yeah, that's been the problem, Kevin. Is a couple of times you've just had guys running wide open in the secondary. I think you probably simplify the defense now and just go man coverage here and just say you got to go athlete to athlete, keep a couple guys over the top as safeties, and just keep everything in front of you.
So Cadets to kick it off. Here with a minute 45.
We promise they're out there somewhere.
Everybody kind of huddled down here and never left. So 1:45 to go here in this one. Again, the varsity cadets off this week. And then we will see the cadets taking on Westminster coming down out of the Atlanta area, the return trip from last year. And Christian, I know back with us, you missed the game against Westminster last year, but the cadets jumped out early, and then Westminster went single wing and just crammed it down the cadets' throats and came back and made a game of it. So one of those where you got to be on your toes coming up next week.
Yeah, it happened a couple times last year. Burke County as well. Just teams have a plan B, and are you able to answer as a defense?
And Jenkins with a nice kickoff return. They're going to end up with great field position. This is all the way out near midfield at the Warriors' 48-yard line. So a minute 30 to go.
And the coach is kind of upset here on the sideline right now because there were some guys that were on that PAT unit who were on the sideline discussing what went wrong on the PAT. Only problem is they're also on the kickoff unit. So some disgruntled coaches on the sideline right now for the cadets. But as you mentioned, great field position for Jenkins to start. Again, 90 seconds. I think one timeout left right now for the Warriors. So plenty of time here with, again, high school still clock stops for a first down and when you go out of bounds. So plenty of time here.
So if you're the cadets,
I'm keeping the
just
quarterback.
don't let them get in the end zone. Don't let them get behind you.
Starting front to back. Keep them in the pocket if you're the defensive line, and then linebackers and safeties just play your man.
Out of the I formation, they'll give it straight ahead.
Ball's
They fumbled
on
the
the ground.
football, and I think going to get it back, but
Clock's rolling.
Clock's going to roll, minute 23.
And that's just you can't have that on the first play of a drive. Now all of a sudden, Kevin, by the time you snap this, you're going to be about a minute.
Yeah, JV, you
30
don't
seconds.
see a lot of teams that just no huddle and go.
Right, 30 seconds. You're going to take off the clock, and you lost half a yard.
So second down, a minute to go here in the ball game. And here's the quarterback keeper off the left side. Stays on his feet, brought down. Nice recovery
And
tackle.
inside the perimeter.
Yeah, so the clock will keep running. Or they call timeout?
Did they say he got out of bounds?
So 48.8 to go. No, they said they stayed in.
Now they're going to run it. I think they had an injury.
Third down and 12. So Jenkins late getting personnel on. That's going to cost him a couple of seconds. They go to the shotgun here. And here's the snap on 3rd and 12. Long throw, going to heave it up. It's going to be underthrown, incomplete. That'll stop the clock at 31 seconds. And one more go of it here for Jenkins. Of course, they converted on 4th and 12 last time with a touchdown. So we're 4th and 12 again here on this one.
Yeah, you see the safeties kind of looking over the sideline, talking to the defensive coordinator, kind of like, hey, should we back up a little bit?
There's nothing to discuss.
Well, even if they pick up a first down here, they have to rush to the ball and get it snapped before that clock starts tipping. So it's just you can't let anybody behind you and just try to tackle people in bounds.
Anything not in the end zone, you win the game. So 31 seconds to go here. This is 4th and 12 for Jenkins. They'll go out of the shotgun. And here's the snap. Quarterback steps up in the pocket, and he will be sacked. And BC will take over with 22 seconds to go, and I would imagine take a knee and take the victory.
Yeah, again, just playing quarterback contain right there. You had your defensive ends just kind of coming to the side, take about a yard deep, staying right there and waiting for that quarterback to flow and able to make a big tackle there when the quarterback tried to boot outside the pocket. That's just great defensive coaching right there. Simple. It's simple play call. You're not doing anything overly exotic with a blitz or anything like that. Just playing your man, playing your keys, and when that quarterback gets outside the pocket, you take him down. So how about Third Scroggins over there to congratulate him on the sideline, playing his position, and comes up and makes a play.
So that's how we do it. He talked about continuing the tradition.
Could be one of the guys he was coaching.
Of BC football. Now the easiest formation to coach.
Everyone's favorite.
In all of football, and they're just going to kneel on it. Burse going to take a knee. One cadet wasn't even paying attention, I don't think. He kind of turned around to look, and thankfully didn't go forward, or that would have been a false start on a kneel down, and that's going to do it. 20-14, Cadet's going to win. It was sloppy at times, and that's what you expect out of the younger guys, the JV guys, but they walk out of here with a 20-14 win over Jenkins.
Yeah, I think more so than just sustained excellence. You're looking for the little flashes where guys make a big play, or where they make the mistake, you correct the mistake, and then do they go out on the field and execute? I think we saw that a few times tonight, and I think it's a cool preview, Kevin, of some of the guys we're going to get to see, maybe not this year, but in the coming years, and just plenty of talent, I think, on both sides of the football for the Cadets, and a whole lot of size for the Jenkins Warriors. And the quarterback, I thought, played an outstanding game for the Warriors as well. So a lot of talent on both sides for these JV teams, and the quality was a little bit higher than you typically see in games like this. 2014, that was an entertaining football game.
We'll come back. We will have the post-game report coming your way right after this here on Watch BC Sports, built by Islands Ace Hardware.
Looking for authentic, traditional Southern cuisine for your next special event, reunion, wedding, or celebration in Savannah? For over 45 years, Barnes Restaurant is the most experienced, trusted caterer in all of Savannah. Groups 50 to 5,000. No event too big or small. Barnes does it all. Online at barnesrestaurant.com.
When it comes to blocking all the obstacles that life throws your way, let Vernon Williams and Auto Owners Insurance help you dodge the hits, analyze the playing field, and run the ball all the way home. We shield you so you can have peace of mind when it comes to auto, home, life, or business insurance. As one of the oldest and most respected independent insurance agencies in the Southeast, we know what it means to stand behind the people we protect head on. Trust in the power of the shield since 1934. For more information, go to thepoweroftheshield.com.
Ace Hardware is celebrating 100 years of helpful, and Islands Ace Hardware is Savannah's own. 318 Johnny Mercer Boulevard in Wilmington Island. They're our hometown, locally owned Ace Hardware. From A to Z, they've got it all to help you get things done. Islands Ace Hardware is a proud BC sponsor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Welcome back here to Benedictine. Cadets win it 20-14 on the JV side as we start the Attorney Jonathan Dunn postgame show. Christian, again, sloppy. What'd you expect? But again, at the end of the day, you pull out the dub, and when you had to make a drive, came out in the second half, put together a 6-minute drive, got the touchdown, and kind of not much looking back there to
All right, Kevin, we're going to have to do it like this because JV game, they cut our power.
The power got cut.
Yeah, so we're just we're going to do this off computer power there. But no, you mentioned, Kevin, it's young guys out there, guys that don't have a ton of playing experience, but this is where you get it. This is the live action where you get a chance to come out here and play against some really, really talented football players that you're going to see. Again, Jenkins, these are the guys that you're going to see potentially if you play in the years to come. So I thought it's cool. It's a preview of what's to come for the Cadets, and a lot of talent on display. Is it going to be as pretty as Friday nights? Probably not, but still plenty of speed, plenty of hard hitting, and it's football.
Cool Vibes Pizza Player of the Game. Who we got, Christian?
I think Amari Burst, the quarterback. He had a rough first half. I think a lot of that probably had to do with the elements, but what kind of stunk in the first half was he had the same mistake he had when he had a chance to come in on varsity against Burke, which is just mismanaging snaps. And it wasn't clean. The exchanges weren't clean, and corrected that in the second half. I think a lot of that had to do with the conditions clearing up a little bit. You saw as soon as the rain went away and things cleared up, the points just exploded for both teams. But I thought he had a great second half, dropped a dime for a touchdown down the sideline on, I believe, 1st and 20 for about 45-yard touchdown there, and then led a great drive about 60 yards there on the game-winning drive, and ends up punching the ball into the end zone himself. he handed the ball off a lot, but what I thought was cool was on that drive, he's kind of like a point guard where he's directing traffic. He's got guys coming in motion, handing it back off, making the correct reads. And then finally, when you get down inside the 10, they call his number and he gets into the end zone. So I think the quarterback there, our cool vibes player of the game.
Absolutely. Then that brings us to our Stack Firewood defensive player of the game. Here we go with the guy that sealed the game there at the end with the sack.
I'm going to let you do this one.
Jaden Houston, defensive player of the game. Also happens to know a little bit about defense from Pops there, the defensive coordinator, Coach Houston there. But again, had a great play there. I believe had to tackle before they were there on the sideline and really had a great game there at the linebacker spot. When you're playing wing T, your linebackers better play well, quite frankly, as well. So our Stack Firewood player of the game on that defensive side, and he's going to be one that we'll see certainly in the future playing that middle linebacker spot for BC.
Yeah, he's got the size, he's got the length, and I think he's a guy you're definitely going to see on Fridays. And Kevin, we're going to invite in over here now the head man himself. Wait for it.
Sorry,
Coach Collins. Yeah,
How's it going?
Usually it's Coach Britt, and sorry, Coach, you guys. I think you unplugged us there. So we're doing this the best way we can right here. But Coach, sloppy conditions.
Very sloppy. Yeah. We lost our long snapper Tuesday in practice. He got leg whipped and hurt his knee. So we kind of got backed up in that. We were in our own territory, 4th and long, and it was just kind of like, all right, what do we do from here? So we had some freshmen practicing, but we just couldn't get the snap right. So we just decided to try and go for it, draw them off sides. Then if we could get the 5 yards, let's try for it. But I'm proud of these guys for sticking in there and getting the win.
Yeah, we had Coach Britt on in the first half, and again, conditions I think had a lot to do with it, but also it's got to be tough focus-wise with young guys coming out. They've been in school 2 hours ago, and now you're getting done. You just had, calculus, and you're coming out here having to put on the pads and playing a game. It seemed like, especially on the offensive line, a little bit sloppy there in the first half. Weren't staying on blocks. Yeah,
and in all honesty, man, a lot of these guys haven't got too many reps together. They get maybe 20 minutes, at the end of practice, I would say, especially this week, but really leading up into this week, it's been varsity focused mainly. So these guys, a lot of them haven't even got reps together. I heard, Dontre, a little freshman, 26, came in, made some plays for us. But when they came off to the sideline, Amari was saying, you need to tell him to create a better pocket for me. I almost fumbled, and that's just lack of chemistry with those guys. And, the more we do it, the more the line gels together, the more the defense plays together. I feel like the better these guys will obviously do.
Well, to that point, it seemed like as you were going third, fourth quarter, that's when the drive started coming together and you're able to click a little bit. What did you see on that last drive there where they were taking the ball down and score a touchdown for the win?
I mean, honestly, man, our backs just being athletes and making guys miss. I mean, CJ had a long run. He spun in the backfield, and what could have been a 3-yard loss turned into a 30-yard gain. So when you got athletes like that, and we've been blessed to have them, I feel like I just try to get them in space and let them work.
And Amari Burst, I know Stephen Cannon's the guy on varsity probably for the next couple of years, but a unique kind of athlete right there. What can he contribute to this team?
Amari is really, really athletic. You see he threw a great ball to Karan down there. He's got an arm on him. I think Amari, he came in more as a receiver slot, DB. And we just saw him throwing one day because he's a baseball kid. And we're like, hey, let's try him at quarterback, get some depth there. And it's worked out. And I think he just needs to work on the little nuances of the quarterback, the timing, making sure everyone's where they're supposed to be and just seeing certain things. Once he, the more reps he gets, like I said, with all these guys, the better they'll get. And that's the biggest thing with his game. Once he picks up the small things, he'll be rolling fine.
And Coach, you guys getting ready this coming week, finally a game week again for the varsity. Westminster's on the docket, but we were talking about this during the game. It stinks because you had 2 bye weeks in a row. But now as you get ready for Westminster, man, there's no stop until deep run in the playoffs. If somebody beats you, you go home. That's when it stops. But until then, you've got a gauntlet coming up.
It is, and I hope the varsity. I think we're ready. We've had a couple, been able to get rest, get healthy. But I just want them to refocus. We need a great week of practice this week. It was a little, less stressful these last 2 weeks of practice, as far as intensity wise and all that. But now it's time to ramp it back up. And like you said, it's back to back to back. We got to go.
Coach, finally here, you played football at BC. You've been around the program for a long, long time. As you kind of look around where we are right now, man, it's got to be crazy to see what's happened and what's coming in the future.
Yeah, man, it's just in my time here, seeing everything that's changed, and just recently from my time working here, everything that's changing, it's awesome, man. I mean, I would have never imagined this while I was playing here. So
great things happening at Benedictine. Coach Caleb Collins kind of take some time with us.
Yes,
Coach,
sir.
we appreciate it, man. We'll see
Thank
you next
you.
Friday night.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You guys have a great night.
Thank you. We'll have Kevin hop back in here. And, man, again, BC guy, been here for a long time. And Coach Britt said, hey, maybe you can cut his hair. You can sneak him in the game. He thinks he can go for 200. But it's you listen to him. It's like listening to a more energetic, happy Danny Britt.
That's right. Yeah.
We don't get a lot of happy Danny Britts. We get a lot of relieved, kind of running the hands through the hair Danny Britts. That's a little refreshing, some positivity.
That's right.
There from Coach Collins.
That's right. It's a big win, as you said. Looking to get back out there next Friday. We'll be with you just down the road at Memorial Stadium for Westminster, coming in here and playing next week. And again, after that,
Feel better.
It's right into the brunt of the region schedule right after that. So you get a little breather, and now, as you said, it's the home push the rest of the way.
It's going to be fun. You're going to be able to watch it right here, and they're not going to unplug us again.
That's right. They will not turn our power off next week at Memorial Stadium. We will be there. Join us at 7 o'clock for the Barnes Catering pregame show, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. For Christian Coquel, I'm Kevin Thomas. Have a great evening. Thanks for watching here on Watch BC Sports.